Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Skills for Mars Transition podcast. Today, I'm welcoming Ioana, and of course, we're going to talk about career change, professional change. Ioana, welcome to the Skills for Mars podcast.
Hey, Julia. Glad to be here.
Happy to have you. Ioana, could you introduce yourself and touch on the professional change that defined your life or is disruptive in your life?
Of course. Okay, so I'm Ioana, and right now I am a brand strategist. But 7 years ago, I was in a totally different place, and I used to fly. I was a flight attendant in the Middle East, and I made a interesting jump to leave the airline and go on a different path altogether.
What prompted this decision? How did you make this decision? It feels
Okay.
like
So
it's
it was
very, very different, right? In terms of skills and what you were doing. How did you decide to make this change?
actually I wanted to change. It took me like 2 years to decide to submit that resignation. And I had no deadline whatsoever. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know what I was good at. I was just flying. And I looked at my options, and my options were very limited. Like, if you want to quit flying, you go into like hotel service or nursing or like, yeah, but I didn't want to go on that path. Like, I just had a feeling that there has to be something more after the life. There were like not many examples. I didn't know any examples of crew that left their job and didn't go to be to work in these industries, somehow related industries. So I waited and I waited and I waited. And then one day I was going to the airport. I will tell you the story. It's really cool. um, I was going to the airport, and we had like 30 kilometers distance from the city to the airport. And on the highway, I see this huge commercial, and it was ugly. So ugly. I was like, who accepted this? Like, and not who accepted this, but who paid for this. And the colors, they were like nothing was together in a pleasant way, like to show something like that you want to see. And by then I was trying, like I was painting a little bit, so I knew some color theory. And then I reached home after the flight and started searching, like who's doing those commercials, who is designing the billboards. And then I saw like you need a graphic designer in order to build a billboard for you. Okay, what is a graphic designer? They started Googling graphic designer, skills that you need for graphic design. I said like, wow, this is so cool. You can create something where there was nothing. And I was like, in one night, I discovered like a whole different life that I could have, and it was close to art, which was something that I enjoyed a lot. They said like a graphic design, you need to draw, to be good at drawing, color theory, layout, images. So I Googled, of course, school where I could learn all that, because in my in like in how I was thinking then, which I can tell you after that, it's not the best approach to the whole situation transitional thing. Now I can say that because I can look back and say like, you shouldn't have done that. Okay, so I started Googling places I could learn, like schools, like where I could learn the skills there. I found one. So this was happening in September. And I found one that was closing registration in 3 days. I was like, what? This is the awesome school. It was like international school. I was living in the Middle East by then. And so to have an international school where I could be taught in English was like something I had to take advantage of. So there were 3 days closing registration. I went and talked to them. It was an expensive school. I had some savings, so I was somehow I had the means to be able to go there. I went, I discussed with them, and the second day I went and registered. The problem is I was still flying. So, and the hours were regular, like every day from the morning, the 8 o'clock, I think, 8 or 9 until afternoon. So I couldn't go flying and do school or two. So I went and submitted my resignation starting with tomorrow. Yeah.
So pretty much you decided in 3 days, right? It took you
Yes.
3 days.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
it took you
The
like really.
decision, like the decision, but the willingness to change was there for maybe 2 years.
Mm-hmm. Did you like flying?
Yes, I enjoyed flying a lot. And I was a very good flight attendant, by the way. Yeah, seriously. I mean, I loved people. Like, um, having that opportunity to be there as someone who knows things. Like when they come on board, they they don't know how to operate stuff. They don't know how to do, like, to be, they feel like they are not in control. I tell them, like, fasten your seatbelt, do this, do that in case of emergencies, grab your oxygen mask. But in case of, I loved, yes, having the feeling that I can help them in case something goes wrong. And this was uh, something that, I don't know, empowered me. And I really loved the flying. I loved when, because you have like 300 people on board. From those 300 people, maybe 10% are sad, maybe 10% ignore you, but there are so many who thank you for what you're doing, and they are smiling to you, and they need something and you can help them. Like you can, I don't
Make
know,
their
they
life
need to.
easy.
Yeah, yeah. And that, like, changing, I had families who were coming and they were separate sitting, like mother and child was sitting at the beginning of the aircraft, father and the other child at the end. And you solve these problems and see them that they are happy, and you had that power to do it. So that, yeah, that made me happy. I enjoyed flying, and I enjoyed the destinations, of course. Um, Sitting and enjoying yourself on the beach with a cocktail. That's a true picture, by the way, not Photoshop. So yeah, there are a lot of good things about the job, and but but there is a but, in small quantities. Like we were talking earlier, like you are on vacation all the time. You were telling me, yes, this is how my Instagram looks like. But the thing is that the novelty diminishes over time. You go to the same destinations. Uh, you're you're in, everything is the same. And there is a very, very important factor that comes into play, and that is jet lag.
Mm-hmm.
You are suffering from jet lag all the time. And everyone can agree, if you are somewhere where you have been at least 3, 4 times and you discover that place, if you are jet lagged, you kind of prefer to stay in your room, right? This is the life of a cabin crew. They are there, they have been there for 10, 20, 30 times, depends on how many years they've been in the airline. There is no novelty anymore. And this tiredness that you feel all the time takes a toll on you. Yeah.
Sorry, I wanted to ask if there are people who make this lifetime career, or it's more frequent for crew members to actually change every 3-4 years and go into something new.
The turnaround is very high.
Mm-hmm.
This is how you call, right? When people change all the time.
Turnover.
Yes. Turnover.
Yeah.
Sorry. The turnover is high. That's why big companies usually have like they're recruiting. They have like world tour, scheduled, and they hire a lot of crew. There are two categories actually of people, of flight attendants. A huge role in turnover is if your base is where your home is, like where you are from. When like in Europe, this is more frequent. You go not very far from your native town, like your home, and you commute to the airport. So you have your whole family, you return to them. But there are, and the majority of flight attendants, I can say, because there are a lot of them that are remote. Not remote. They live very far from where they were born, from where their whole family lives, and those places, the turnover is much bigger.
Got it. How long did you stay in the for how long were you a crew member?
4 years.
4 years. When you decided to change, you said that you had you were doing some drawing, like a hobby, right? And you had certain knowledge about the theory of colors, and that's how you went into to study. Did you, now looking back, do you think you had any other transferable skills?
Yes. The people skills that you develop and that are now so much in need, because now 7 years have passed and I have learned a lot. Now I'm looking for help for people who have empathy, like who can communicate well, who are open to new ideas, and these are qualities that flight attendant has, and others very good organizers. Like they need to have everything organized in place and prepared for the flight. Very good knowledge of technical things, like you will be amazed how much you understand you can learn in 6 weeks, because it's 6 weeks you go to training before you start flying. You have so much technical things that you have to learn, plus medical things that you have to learn. And in 6 weeks, you pass the exam and you enter the workforce reliable, that you can open that door in emergency mode and evacuate everyone, or you can use that defibrillator and bring someone back to life if it's necessary. So there are so many. They do not know how many skills they have, and how much they can do outside of the airline. So yeah, those are
that's why you say
they
end up. That's why you say that they end up mostly in the nursing industry or the hospitality.
Yeah, it's kind of like I know CPR.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, where can I use CPR? Nursing, or I don't know, taking care of others. But this capacity of accumulating knowledge, and also, like I said, technical, the variety of things, and this is a capacity. It's not something like put them to learn 6 weeks something else and they will do it. They prove that, because it's a shock, when you go into training, it's a shock how many things that you never had any anything, haven't done anything related to that before, and you are learning it. So yeah, for me, that's a proof that they can do a lot more than they think they can.
And it was the same for you, I imagine, right? Because you went to do graphic design as a study, right?
Yeah, multimedia designer, actually, more
Okay,
than
more
it
than
was
graphic.
a. Yeah, it was a, because that's what attracted me very much about the concept, the school that I attended, the diploma that I took, was the fact that I was passing through graphic design, motion graphic, animation, video editing, journalism, so copywriting and all that, web design. So it was a whole area that afterwards I could choose whatever I wanted.
Did you decide upfront that you wanted to be a graphic designer to design ads and billboards, or did you decide already at that point that you're going to be a brand strategist where you are right now?
This brand strategy came very late.
Okay.
It was a step by step. Step one was graphic design, because it was like Photoshop, open Photoshop and start designing images, covers of news, of magazines. I fell in love directly. I said, I'm going to focus on print. I love print. Then next semester came motion graphics. Wow, things are moving. This is awesome. I love motion graphics. I'm going to do commercials. And my first commercial was actually for Xbox, because I had one and I was in love with Xbox, and I like 3D thing, ball running through the maze and encountering the fire where the logo came out. Wow, I can do that. Awesome. Then came web design. I said, okay, this is a totally different level. I mean, you go online and you work online. Don't have to wait for the work to have feedback from that. It was like putting everything together from other places. So it was a step by step. I fell in love literally with every single thing I was doing. And then during school, like after the second semester, I was hired by TV station, online TV station, super creative. They were like awesome. And I worked there for 2 years. So I worked in motion graphics. I was doing video openers. I was doing animated infographics, all this kind of like movement, everything in TV. So, and after that, so how, because it was a role that came, yeah, really step by step. That's why I say like build your brand step by step, because you need to have a certain, like not be all over the place, like try that or that or that. Try to go, there is a logic in doing things one after the other. So
I know exactly what you're saying, because you know this is happening with Skills for Mars as well, but now talking about brands, and then we move back to the change, but
yeah,
it's
yeah.
very hard to understand what step by step means.
Yes, because branding is now quite a new term, let's say, not as means of organizing yourself. And also branding now, it's more accessible to small business owners, solopreneurs, like writers, and all the people that thought, oh, I need to work with an agency in order to establish a strong personal or a strong brand, personal or business. So in order to, because we are talking here two different approaches. You don't come with a strategy of branding to the small business owner the same that you are going with towards a corporation. You cannot do that. So there are steps that for a small business owner doesn't make any sense to do.
Cool.
And yeah, so that's why the systems are not in place yet for like I have a system, but I mean worldwide, let's say.
Um, did you give yourself a timeline when you decided to quit the Air Force and airline industry? Sorry, and start into
Yeah,
graphic design. Did you give yourself a
yeah,
timeline,
I
like
had.
a year or 2 or 3?
The timeline was I'm starting school in I think it was 2 weeks. I need to quit now. Uh, Like seeing that thing that registration that will close in 3 days. I had the feeling that this is a push I need to make the jump because um, I didn't think of it. When you start when you think about how to get away, because it was a place I wanted to get away, like get away, quit flying, stop it. It didn't. It was consuming my well-being so much. I wanted to be on ground. I longed for normality, like to just wake up in the morning and I don't know, go
Have a
to a nine to
coffee.
five.
Yeah.
Yeah, just go to a 9 to 5. Also, I longed for, I'm touching on this subject, the deep and meaningful connections. I was living then I was living with colleagues in an apartment, but we were seeing each other like everyone was flying. And the colleagues that you see, they are changing all the time, and sometimes that's a good thing. But sometimes when you have a really awesome crew and you have so much fun, you don't see them after that for 2, 3, 4 months. Who knows when you are going to encounter them again? So I was longing, like I wanted stability in my day-to-day life. So getting away from that lifestyle was a must. But I was so scared, like so scared. Imagine you are earning good money. I mean, really, from me, like I moved to the other end of the world, halfway to the other end of the world. Uh, and I was living like very good. I was spending a lot. That's another huge problem. Um, like uh, I still have clothes that I bought who have the thingy, the price
The,
on
the,
it,
the price tag.
because you you buy so much because you forget, like I bought stuff but you don't have time to wear them because you're flying so much, so this sits in the closet and it doesn't matter. Like I found stuff I had 2 times, not identical but still. I mean, come on, why did I need another one? Plus the collection of perfumes. Like after each flight you have duty free you know um, like
Shops.
crew. Yeah, you have the duty free discounts
Discount.
because you
Okay.
are crew. That's why I was saying the lifestyle also dictates your buying habits, because you as a crew you have discounts. After a flight where you're like, I cannot stand this anymore. Where do you go? You are passing through the duty free. This is new. I don't have it. I need it. I love it. Take it. Bam. So now, when you want to make a change like this, the salary is not going to be the same. No way. But I was thinking, like, even if it's half of what I'm earning, I can live with that. I can live with that. But it's like the unknown. What's going to happen? Am I going to make it? I had half of a plan, which made my life easier to make that step, to take that step. I had money put aside, so I thought that until I finish all the studies, I'll get a job, and then I'll be financially stable. I was not dreaming to get a job that paid that well. No. So like it this it is super 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 scary. It's very scary.
For how long did you have your money reserves? For how long were they supposed
I've
to last?
calculated 1 year.
Okay.
I've calculated one
So were
year.
you able to get a job in 1 year? Finish school and get a
Yeah,
job?
yeah. I had like from after maybe 3, 4 months, 3, 4 months. the director of the school, they came to us because he knew like our class had this multimedia. So, and he said, look guys, this TV station is looking for people who you don't need to know too much, but you need to have to be willing to learn. You will be guided, you will be supported. You want to try. And I went there and tried and got the job. So it was good, but
Did you
I
earn
didn't
half
know.
of your salary? Or
No, no, no. It was I think 1/3 of the salary, maybe less. But I was like finally like even the passion when you do something you really love was good to hold everything else to leave everything else behind. I mean, my buying habits went down totally. Like I had some suffering to do to to go through because of that, because when you're a crew and your grooming needs to be perfect, your hair needs to be perfect, and you have the means to do it. So I was at my salon like 2 3 times, coloring my hair, having these treatments, and nails have to be perfect, like everything has to be like tip top. So pampered. I was pampering myself a lot. After quitting, no more. It was wow. That I suffered from that the most. Like that was the first impact that it had on myself, because it impacted my self-esteem directly. Why? Because I burned my hair. Like I tried to do it myself. Yes, and it burned it. It was like it was the visual thing. I was looking at myself and I was not seeing the same person, and it had a huge impact. Still, doing what I was now loving so much came into balance, and I started valuing other things. But that happened only after I did the you know jump now, jump, do it, take action. Yeah.
did it ever happen in this period that you said, I'm you said you were scared, right? That did you ever think that, hey, I'm going to go back, maybe this is not for me?
Yeah, first week of school. Oh my God, I have to tell you this. Um, so I was first week. I was in a class. I was the only foreigner in the class, and I was the oldest.
How old were you at that point, if I can ask?
Uh, I was like 10 years ago, 26,
Okay.
27. Yeah, something like that. 27 or 28. Yeah, something like that. The thing is that everyone there were coming from high school, most of them. There were others that passed two,
So
three
they could be
years.
10 years younger.
Yeah. Yeah. And they were like, nowadays, the curriculum is different. And technology, IT, and even design is integrated into at least high school. I don't know if earlier. Um, so they were coming with a little bit of knowledge in the field. I was, zero. Like I just installed Photoshop. So I was like, yeah, what is this? This is so cool. I love it. And we get an assignment, like design a cover of a magazine. Yay, awesome. What should we design? All my colleagues were like focusing on this like fashion magazines. I said, no, 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 no. I'm out of the fashion way. I don't want to see fashion. I don't want to see perfumes. I don't want to see any of that. What should I do? A garden magazine. Those now I would not go and try. Now, after so much experience, I wouldn't go try my hand on a garden magazine. Like, it's so hard. I will not go into details, but it's super hard. I chose that, and I start cutting pictures with flowers and everything, put them all together. Yay, I'm done. I liked it. I mean, it was it needed some work, but it was okay for me. It was the first one, like first cover. The teacher comes and she stops and looks, and I'll never forget that. I love her for now. I love her for doing that. She looks at it. She looks at me, and she asked me this question, like, how much would you pay for this magazine? I never bought that kind of magazine. I was like, did I ever saw a magazine on the shelf with a price on it? Maybe in the duty free? No, 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 no. So I said $5. She looked at me. She said, I wouldn't pay 10 cents for it. And she went on. I was like, the everything fell. Like, I was like, what am I doing here? I I was a good flight attendant. I spent so much. This, why is this happening? So it was a shock, and I went home. I cried. I self-pitied. I was alone, so I could have done. I've done that. I did that for a couple of hours, and then I couldn't go back. Like, I paid for the whole school. I, I cannot. I mean, I could have gone back. They would have hired me back, but yeah. Um, but I wasn't. I wasn't going to go back. So I opened the internet, and that whole day changed my perspective on everything, because I never looked at the internet, at the other side of the internet. We are using the internet to entertain ourselves, to spend time on social media, to scroll, to like, to share. But and until then, this is what I was doing. Like, I don't know if Netflix was around that time, but still, movies, music, music, and a little bit of social media. But then in that moment, I had a huge problem. Like, I didn't know how to do something. So I typed how to make a magazine cover, and YouTube lent me the hand and showed me, like, here you are. This is what you have to do. And I was like, no way. How awesome I can learn and do it. In that evening, I stayed and I did 3 covers. And this is how I started operating. Like, in the morning, I was going to school, learning from my teachers. And after I reached home, opening YouTube and doing, learning from everyone, everything, every question that I had. Like, it was amazing, and I finished first in the whole year. Like, yeah.
That's good.
Yes.
Did you ever look back after that? Did you ever say I want to go back, or it never happened after that incident?
um if I wanted to go back to flying, you mean?
Flying, or even doing something else, but not graphic
No,
designs or
no,
branding.
no, no. And that's it. That's because I'm not the kind of. It's something in me personally. I don't go back. Like, I see that, and I believe from the very deepest places of my heart that you can, if you don't find a solution, you find at least 2 or 3. So I wouldn't, it didn't cross my mind. I was crying for myself that, look what like, I've not lost, but like what I gave up. But for me, it was definitely not going back to flying, and I support my decision. I love myself for, because I have a exercise I suggest flight attendants do, like, when they feel depressed about the choice that they took to become a flight attendant. Because so I tell them, like, go back in time to that person that wanted so much to be a flight attendant. Like, how was your environment? How was your family? How were your friends? How were you, and why did you have that huge willingness to go through all the steps? Because interviews for flight attendants are super hard, and people fail all the time. And actually, I failed twice. So I was like, so like I failed once, twice. The second time I
You
came in.
got in.
So yeah, I got in. So they're very, very difficult. But you had a willingness to go through that, and appreciate yourself for doing that. So I was in those moments when I sucked, sorry,
Uh-huh.
at designing that cover. I was grateful that I quit, and after crying for myself and self pity and all of that, came the solution.
I do want to touch a bit later on what you're doing right now for flight attendants and the kind of uh,
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily trainings but programs that you're putting in place. But I
Mm-hmm.
still want to stick a bit with the change at that point. How was the support that maybe you had or didn't have from your people close to you, your family, your friends? Were they supporting your decision, or were they questioning it and asking, why are you giving up that really good lifestyle? And maybe you're supporting some of them as well. And why go to earning nothing or earning a third of what you were earning?
People still ask me that. Why did I live uh, the dream life? Because this is what the perception is from outside. Um, Regarding family support and the environment, um, after 4 years, you don't have much around. This is the truth. I mean, um, I can explain it and make a parallel between changing on a normal job, changing workplaces. You keep in touch with a few of your old colleagues, but most of the people that you're around with are new. If they you work in the same office, but if your office changes all the time, the people that are around you are, you can count them on the fingers of one hand. So I didn't have any friction whatsoever from my environment. um, yeah, people were curious, like, wow, you were a flight attendant, why did you quit that? Your life was amazing. True, some aspects of it. um, but like there was, I cannot say, even like my family was supportive. My mom, which even though I was living in the Middle East, I was bringing my mom to stay with me at least 1 month, once a year, like once or twice a year. And she was telling me like, um, I see you so tired and so confused all the time. She told me that this a little bit after, like a couple of months, maybe 1 year after I quit. But she told me like, every time you came from a flight, or the whole, you were waking up to prepare for another flight, you were so with, like you were still in the clouds, even though you were on the ground. there was there was no, I don't know. She thought it was the best decision I took, actually,
To
for
quit.
myself, for my sanity. Yes, 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 definitely.
It must feel good to have the support of the family while this is happening.
Yeah, definitely. The For flight attendants in general, I think support of the family is crucial. Like, even though you don't get to see us too much, but they are in the end, because friends pass, because you don't keep in touch. You're When they sleep, you fly, and when you sleep, and when you are awake, they sleep. So normally there is no schedule in keeping in touch with people who have a regular working hours. So relationships fade. But the family is like the relationship that never fades, and having their support is what keeps you going. Like that North Star, like I'm doing, because many flight attendants, they go to the other end of the world just to support their families. So when it's hard and when they want to quit, and that's why I said that many wanted to quit. Now it's a different situation, but they're thinking about, like, I was lucky. I didn't have a family to support home, so I could think only about myself when I took the decision. But many have the whole family to support, and they just, I mean, how can you cut your salary to 1/3 when you need to send money home?
Yeah, it can be really challenging like that.
Yeah.
I'm sure of it. Ioana, how do you feel right now about where you are right now? Do you think that you are where you're supposed to be, where you planned that you would be? You are a bit further away. You are not yet.
You
It's not
know,
exactly the dream.
two things. I am exactly when I'm supposed to be. And there is still so much to do. So um, I wish I will be further away in. So it's both. Like,
Okay.
I'm on the right path. I'm 100% sure of that. It proved to me over and over and over. But I have so much to do, so much to discover, so many people to help, to talk to, yeah.
So right now you change from a graphic designer and a media specialist. You are a brand strategist.
Yeah, I
What's
added,
next? What are you working on, and what's next?
like, this is, for now, as much as I can imagine it, like imagine my life to be. For now, this is what I'm working on, and for the next 5 to 10 years, I believe this is where I'm going to be positioning myself. Um,
So you're basically supporting small and medium companies, right?
yeah,
Entrepreneurs and scale up startups to build their brand image.
exactly. This is what I'm doing, and it was like when we say we switched from graphic design to branding.
Mhm.
I prefer to, because this is what it was. It was an evolution.
Mhm.
Um,
So
it was I added to the all the multimedia knowledge that I had. Um, I added the business knowledge, business, finances, sales. So all the things that a graphic designer does not take into consideration when they design, for example, um, I don't know, a landing page, you know. So um, I, I went into branding because there were problems that my customers were facing. Customers that started with me with, I need a flyer. Sure, let's see how to solve the flyer issue. What do you want the flyer for? I want a flyer because I'm going there. Okay, how does your other materials look like? This. Oh no. Oh, why? I mean, who are you talking to? And all of these questions, step by step, step by step by step. I'm giving you like just an example. It's not a real discussion that I had, but still. So I saw my customer having issues like that I could look into, and so step by step I learned other skills, and I gained more knowledge, and I'm reaching and further working to solve more of their problems that finally have reached the business, that are impacting the way they do business, the way they see themselves, the way they express themselves. And what I learned, and coming, like bringing back a little bit of discussion, like what skills from the flight attendant career. I wasn't a very people oriented person, by the way. Like, I couldn't have discussions, and I wasn't opening up. Flight attendant career changed my life completely. From that point of view, I can talk more to people and better understand them. And this was something I saw a lack of in branding. Like, why do you want to look like the other company? You're not that company, and you are not that founder. You don't have the same story. And that's why I was telling you, Julia, that I love working with small to medium businesses. I don't see myself working in corporations. I worked in corporation like 4 years, very, very young. And I know I mean, when I work with someone, that I see the business through them. Like, people want to associate. I will give that famous example, Apple and Steve. Like, people associate Apple with Steve, because Steve Jobs created a very, like, an awesome personal brand. So people related to him, the way he saw the world, and that, when Apple came through, like a like an extension of him. This is how I see every small business. And it's very easy for me to find that core, that what makes you unique, what combination, because we are the same. We have a head, we have two hands, we like food. I don't know, we have the
Yeah,
same
a certain variety of
things.
colors. Yeah. So,
Yes,
yeah.
but the combination of all the experience that we have, all the things that we are exposed to visually, because this is one of the things I ask my customers, like, give me an example of things that you like, and not one, just give me 10. And what are your role models? What you don't like about stuff? We have, because we create a plan, and we have placed things we like, things we don't like, and why. So, because what makes everyone unique. And I saw that with time I was able to find that uniqueness in someone very easy. That's why, yeah.
How many hours do you still work and learn?
How many hours I do anything else? That's the question.
Any
I'm not a workaholic, because I don't see what I do as work. Which is, I don't know.
Okay, how
It's
much
it's
time
just
do you
it's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle also. I've changed a lifestyle to another lifestyle.
Okay, so how many hours a day do you dedicate to branding and learning about branding?
um, I work like I work maybe 5 hours a day with customers, and the rest of the day I spend with my baby, also the time he's awake, but, and he sleeps a lot, so it's fine. Um, at least another 5 hours a day. I look for inspiration. I read a lot, anything I find interesting. I don't have certain topics, because when you have, like, I find knowledge that works for my customers that I read like 2 months ago, and I'm like, where did I read that? It suits them right now. This is for them. So, I don't. Why I have this time? This is very important. I only am on social media for my customers. This is something that uh, hasn't helped me too much, because I should have, like, invested time in my social media, but until now, I invested a lot in my skill set, in the way I solve the problems for my customers. So I didn't go too much for myself, but I do not do. I tried like a couple of months ago, and I spent 2 hours, and I haven't. I don't know what I did. Like, whoo, and so no social media for me. I read headlines, of course, news and stuff like that, trying to be very, very focused, so I can do more with my time because, day is limited, 24 hours only.
Now, tell me a bit about the project you are working on for flight attendants.
Yes.
Because I find it very interesting.
So it started like last year. I work with a flight attendant, ex-colleague of mine. We've built a startup together. He's still flying, by the way. And we were talking, and he's telling me about this event, not event. How can you call that? About what happened to another colleague, flight attendant of his. She was, she took the decision of ending her, ending. Yes, it's hard to say because she was a colleague. So, and I was like, he was shocked. These things don't happen very often, but they do. And I started thinking, like, why is this happening? And I went back. So so it happened last year, maybe in April. I was too busy with my own life and my own growth to think about that time too much. So I went back and looked at myself, like I'm telling my my girls, like my flight attendant girls, like, go back and see how was actually this thing is also used in hypnotherapy, like, go back and remember and see what you feel about it. So I couldn't understand it, so I went on the internet and started Googling quit job flight attendant. So many videos came up, like with crew that submitted their resignation, they had enough, and those videos had huge views, like 300,000, 500,000 views. I think now they have even more. And I was like, yeah, you go, girl, awesome, new life. And then nothing. So
nothing in what way? They didn't change. They wanted to make the change, but they didn't.
The channel was not on anymore.
Okay.
Like, there were these 2-3 videos. Then they usually started. It was a trend. Like they usually went into trying to be an influencer, to become an influencer. Makeup, hair, fashion. That didn't turn out very well for them. I mean, they did, like, the channel had maybe 10 videos maximum. So I started researching more about the topic, and I found forum where flight attendants were discussing the resignation question between themselves. And there were people like, can you imagine, like, wanting to get out of the place so bad, just to be desperate to come back? Because this is what is going on. Like,
so they're quitting and going back to.
They're quitting. They are trying to make a living. They cannot. They go to counseling. They go to career advisors. They don't find a solution, and they are desperate to go back to the lifestyle. So this is what's going on. And it's because one girl was saying there, like, my career consultant told me, like, just go back. You're not happy. Just go back. Which is a drama in itself. It's how, no. So this is what happened. What's going
Yeah.
on? And I was like, no, this is not. Don't do that. Don't go back. You can do it. You can find a way, but you need to change your mindset. That's why I then I wanted to write, in the forum, and I started writing so much. And then things went like, this is too much writing. I need to put it in let me open fast a doc. And then I started writing more. Now I have to tell them this too. I have to tell them this too. And it went on. And I saw that it's like a small book. Oh, okay. Just my point was, do not quit now. I knew, because I asked my friend, and I keep in touch with many flight attendant friends. People were, but then, now it's a different story what we experience right now. But then every day people are like, I cannot stand it anymore. I'm done. I cannot. I want to sleep. I want to be with my family. This is like huge. These two problems are super huge. So they were quitting. Like every day they were quitting. Now I wrote a book. The title was literally "Do Not Quit Your Job as a Flight Attendant." And its purpose was like, if it can save you 1 month's salary, then this small thing has done her purpose. And I just put it online for people to download it. And it got a very good response. And then I thought, okay, how can I help them? Like, how can I make them see what I am seeing? And this touches also with branding. In branding, you say you cannot read the label from the inside. It's the same with them. They live in a bubble that um, you cannot see the solution if you're not from outside. So you need some assistance, some help, and someone who's been there, done that, and now it's on the other side, can tell you, like, hey, the grass is greener on this side. Come,
So why
don't
did you
give
tell
up.
them not to quit when actually you are supporting them to make the move out?
Yes, because how I saw, returning to the beginning of our discussion, how I approached things was wrong.
Okay.
Like, for now, looking back, and at the beginning, the steps I did, I saw that I could have. Now, why did I go to school? Why? After starting Googling how to do something, I found schools online at 1% of the price that I paid for my whole school, where teachers were people that were working in Hollywood, in Disney, and all these awesome places that I don't question the professionalism of my teacher, no way. But why? I
You
mean,
could have done it so much easier
so much
and
easier.
cheaper.
Yes. Like, I didn't choose the effective path, but I couldn't have chosen the good path from the point that I was in then, because when you are flying, and everyone is has enough of flying, everyone is talking about this all the time, and everyone is pronouncing the word over and over again: quit. I want to quit. Just I will submit my resignation. I cannot anymore. I will quit. I will definitely. I had enough. So what is the first thing that comes into your mind? Quit and take a vacation. You need a vacation. I need a vacation. Like, I need to just sleep, and then my brain will get better. Because this is the approach, and this is how many of my colleagues also approached the quitting part, because I have many who now are at home. I don't know much about what they are doing. They try different areas, but they did the same. They had the same pattern: quit first, then sleep, get back mentally somehow, then go to school, maybe find a job, and then maybe have a salary that you can handle to be half of what you were earning before, because you are exchanging normality to money. This is the mentality, but it's the wrong approach. And why did I say that? Why didn't I try all of that while I was flying? I can
Time?
blame. Yeah. I know the time. The always the time blame. No, you cannot blame time.
So how would you have done it differently?
Now, I would have approached the growth mentality, the growth hacking mentality. Take one idea and put it in action for a limited time. There is a book called Sprint. I don't know if I have it here. Yeah, I do have it here somewhere. It's called Sprint. You take an idea and you experiment with it for 1 week. Like, I could have done this very easily. Look and, okay, I want to make banners. Take that, do 10 banners, put them on free Adobe portfolio, and see if I can get a job, or
Get any
everything
likes?
now is online. You want to you want to learn a new skill. Uh, Learn everything while you are still working, because the schedule. Okay, some companies have a very tight schedule, but rest time is good. You have problems adapting because you're jet lag, and you're staying always and doing something else like entertainment, like that that is the place where your energy goes. But I saw also crew that are flying for private, which are a lot, and they have so much free time. Really, they are stuck in their hotel rooms. I saw there are vlogs on YouTube, and they were doing nothing.
So pretty much you said you would have had time. Even if you had a busy schedule, you still would have
Yeah.
had time to try
Yes.
and test. So
Yes.
right now
Try
you're
and
putting
test.
together program which is called 67 or
Si-
68?
67 flights.
60. Okay. And
Yeah.
that's how many flights you need to have while you're doing the sprints, right? While you're trying something new.
While you're trying something new, 67 flights means every day is going to have a flight that is going to take you from a place, and you reach a destination. So even if it's one concept that you are changing, you are going somewhere else. You will not be in the same place that you were before. So I'm taking them through, first of all, knowledge of their self. We need to have to understand that what we are is more valuable than what we believe it is. And yes, the purpose is to close, like to go and submit that resignation and thank the airline that it supported your failures, because you might fail. I mean, you take 7 days, you try something. Oh, why? I don't like this. I mean, luckily, I didn't invest a lot of money in school. I tested it that doesn't work for me. So, and what happens? You don't go like me. Uh, Oops, I don't have a monthly salary to go back to. No, you have the monthly salary. The company pays. So why not pay for your experimenting with something that brings you fulfillment, something that you feel um, is enough to make you happy. That's what I'm doing with my what I was doing with my ex-colleague who is still flying and building his startup, which is like huge. That's why it's taking him so long. And I was like pushing him like to go and pitch to investors, pitch. Wait, I have flights.
So he's your pilot, basically.
No, he's not a pilot. No, he's cabin crew.
No. He's your guinea pig.
Uh,
He's like
yeah.
a pilot.
That,
He's the
yeah,
pilot experiment with the
yeah.
67 flights.
Don't tell him that. But yeah, he is. And I asked him, tell me, because I know how he's working. Like when he's on ground, he's reaching out. Look, I have this. Can we talk a little bit? Sure. Sometimes different channel work because in some countries doesn't work. So where are you? I'm in the other side of the world. Okay, no problem. Let's hear each other there. So he's still flying, and I asked him, like, how did your life change after you started investing and learning and evolving? Because you cannot not evolve when you start something else.
Mm-hmm.
This is I'm jumping a little bit. After that, I will tell you what he said. As a cabin crew, you don't have too many problems. Yeah, life is kind of
Easy.
yes. I mean, think about it. Company takes care, most of the companies, I don't want to generalize, but most of them take care of your house, your transportation from place to another, go to work, I think they pay for phone, they pay for your food, they pay, so you kind of have nothing that you need to solve. And the problems on board are the same all the time, all the time.
Nice. Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't have rarely you have different situations, and airline is so safe right now that yeah. So there is not much diversity in problems, and problem solving is one of the skills that forces you to grow. Like, so they don't have that in their lives, but my friend had a whole new world opening up. Like, oh my God, I'm starting a business. What should I know first? Start reading this, and this. Oh, wow, this is awesome. I have to do this. Yes, you need to hire a development team. I never done that. How do I do that? How do I talk to them? So it, it gave him life, and he answered my question. Like, his life changed completely, and he feels a satisfaction. He feels he has a purpose, even though you have a purpose, like working for the airline, but
He
he's
has
he's
more than
there.
that. He found more
He's
meaning.
more meaning because he's working for himself now. He's growing himself. He knows so much more. He had to add so many skills. Now he was managing a team also on board, but this is different. You approach things differently. You talk to people differently. So yeah,
When
it works.
when are you going to release the 67 flights? When do you think it will be ready and
Um,
implemented, or
I'm
what's the timeline that you give yourself?
I'm gathering registration opens, like you will have a landing page where you can be like be the first one, like, now the doors are open, yeah, just register me, where we can keep in touch. And I also respond if you like just need to talk with someone, like, before the program starts.
And I'll
uh
get your details because I think
yeah, yeah,
it will be really cool
we
at
will
the end
add all
to
the details down, so
yeah yeah.
everyone who wants to access them, they can easily.
Perfect. So,
Yeah.
Ioana, one last question. If you are to tell me uh, three top lessons, something that you would do the same, and three things that you would. So, if you were to do it all over again, excuse me, if you were to do it all over again, what would be the three things that you still do the same, and what would be three things that you would definitely change? Very shortly.
One, I will start learning about myself and who I really am. Second, um, I would be open to failure. Third, I will be much more focused on my finances if I were to quit. Like finances, guys, those are the first.
That's
you need to
that's the
have
biggest anxiety.
You create your own backup plan. You will not have the company, so no more hair, no more. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. So
what would you do the same? So these are things that you would change. What would you still do the
yes.
same?
What would I do the
3
same?
things that you would.
I would decide the same way. I would like I was super when I knew it was time. I did the jump, and you guys are also super brave. So just do it when you are ready, when you have calculated everything else that it's okay. So I would be the same determined. I will never look back, and I will always find at least 2-3 solutions for those problems.
Ioana, thank you so much for your time today.
Julia,
And thank
thank
you
you
for
so much.
sharing your story. And definitely, I will take all the details for the 67 flights, so people who are maybe in the same situation can reach out and you can support them.
Awesome. Yeah. Looking forward to that. Yay. You can do it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Awesome.
Talk soon.
Thank you, Julia. Ciao.
Bye.
Ciao.